Hello, love and light to you. Louis here. I'm going to do something that is a little controversial. In fact, that's what's going to be called the controversial files. Now, these are a bunch of theories, but theories that bear a little thought, not to be just dismissed out of hand. But warning, it is controversial and it does go against many people's belief systems. But if you think most people's belief system is only what's, well, written down in a book or been taught to you in your Sunday school studies or religious education in school, back in the days when they did religious education in schools. But it does bear a little meaning. For instance, let's talk about us and what we perceive as us, what we're known to be, and that is we're a genetic mix-up of bodily fluids, functions, organs, body parts. We are made by the divine. We are made out of love, in many cases, between man and woman, and so on, so on. This is not biological mystery or miracle. It is the way things are, as far as we know it. But what if we're more than that? What if we compare ourselves to a car? Okay, what is a car, first of all? A car is a man-made, mass-produced product made in a factory, right? Now, they haven't got anybody in mind when they create the car. It's just, I don't know, a Ford Focus, and they come in numerous colors, but they're box standard Ford Focus. All right. So, what happens then? Well, it's mass produced. It's then sold and bought by car showrooms and what have you, personal people who like a tailor-made Ford Focus. They might want a pink strip going along the side. They might want 17-inch wheels or whatever. You get custom-made cars. Well, then it's bought by that person and they're happy to drive it around, and yeah, brilliant. You just bought yourself a brand new car. Straight off the forecourt, from the showroom, from the manufacturers. Brilliant. So if we put that theory just to a side, but just not too far aside, just leave it there on the shelf. Now we compare ourselves to that. Alright, so our body, us, we are mass produced in a biological factory. You've got the designers, mum and dad, and they hopefully put both of their wisdoms and all that they are into creating this new car, our bodies. Alright, so we've created and we've designed this new version of a biological Ford Focus. But unfortunately, at the moment, you haven't actually got anybody to drive it because it's still in the factory. All the fine points and all the trim is yet to be decided because you haven't had a buyer yet. So if you think of yourself, your soul, your spirit, the real you, as a driver waiting to drive a new Ford Focus, but yet you don't know that it's being built, you don't know when it's going to be ready for purchase, but you get a little small ad in the Spiritual Times as you're shopping for cars, in the cosmos and in the universe. You're shopping for cars, and then you see this little small ad. New Ford Focus, ready for driving away. But then you go to visit it, and you go, you know what? I could drive that car. I like that, but I want to make it more me. So maybe I want those ears a little bigger. I want that nose. They really did that with me, of course, but they want that nose a bit longer. Maybe I want more of a square trim. I want a different trim going around my new car, my new vehicle. But when it's right, just for that right buyer, that right person, that's when it's ready to come out of the factory and to be driven. See, I like to think of ourselves as just that. We are this here, this solid shell is just a solid shell of a car, just like a Ford Focus, for instance. And it's been designed this way, designed with two arms, a head, nose, chin, eyes, all the bits and bobs. But like a car, we have an engine, we have our hearts, we have our lungs, we have all our internal organs, just like an engine of a car. We are a car in every sense of the way. We are built, purpose built, mass produced from a biological human body producing factory. Okay? And what happens to man-made products? Well, it don't last forever, does it? You're not going to have a Ford Escort from 1980 and still be driving it around in 2018 without bits of it falling off, needing replacing or repair. So that is a thought. What do you think? Are we just vessels to be driven by the right driver? Airplane, waiting for the next pilot to drive us? Then that goes on to other thoughts. If we are on that theory, just drivers of a man-made, mass-produced product, then it does bear a little thought in why a 3-year-old from Birmingham can speak Hebrew or knows what most of the German alphabet is, or perhaps know how a massive boat that they were on sank with a big iceberg. There's loads of children that has memories that they couldn't possibly have if they were just made the normal conventional way. So how can you explain this? How can you explain the past life theory? Well, if you think of us as pilots or drivers of a vessel, then it's kind of an obvious point that you've probably driven other cars. What do you reckon? Could the answer to why there's so many young children who think they're gay? There's nothing wrong in being gay, not in the slightest. I have many friends that are gay, and that's not an issue of being something. But it's all about the premises of being in the wrong body, how they feel that they should be feminine. Or, that, if they're a little boy, they think that they're in the wrong body and they should be a girl. They have an inclining and a strong urge to want to play with dolls and put dresses on. Well, you could say, oh, that's just a childish thing, it's a phase. Well, what if it's not a phase? What if they're genuinely serious that these young people who's only been on this physical earth and been driving this body for so long, how could they have these feelings and emotions that they're one thing when they're physically not? How can they feel that they're gay when they're only like 4 or 5 years of age? Well, that's rubbish. That is complete and utter freaking insanity, because to be that way, that means there has to be an attraction, and it has to be a sexual attraction. It has to be something within you that says, I like men, I like women, because that's what you're drawn to. You're not going to have I don't know, you're not going to have these ideas, these feelings, these urges to want to be something if you've never experienced it before, because it's only an experience in something that gives you the urge to feel that you should be something. Again, is a controversial theory, but it does beg the question, are we literally just traveling through time and just buying new cars? The real us has probably been around for millennia, many a millennium. Maybe what we call ghosts and spirits are just people that are looking for new cars to drive, need a new car to drive, or they really like that particular body, that particular form that they've been in, and they're so used to that, and they want nothing else but that same Ford Focus that they like driving. So it's a theory, and it's a strong theory that I believe in quite passionately, because it's a little bit naive to think that we're created, we live, we die, and that's it. That's just as simple-minded as saying, yeah, it's Earth is the only inhabitable life forms in the whole universe, in the whole solar system. Don't be stupid. You know, that's ignorance to think that we're the only planet that can have life. It's plain ignorance and stupidity. It's like saying water's not wet or snow's not cold. Of course it is. You know it is. That's obvious. So, is the premises of that we are a man-made property, we are a man-made product that is simply just mass-produced for the real you, and that is your spirit. And everything degrades, everything packs up, everything breaks down, because nothing lasts forever that is man-made. Apart from plastics. That seems to go on forever. And Hollyoaks. Anyway. So, think about it a little bit. It is controversial, but it does answer a lot of questions. Why do children have such traumatic night terrors? Why? Why, when they say there's somebody in their room, why does adults go, no, there's not? There's so many questions, but they all sort of link, and they're all sort of joined together in one sort of theory that we've been here before. Not in this vessel, not in this Ford Focus, but we've been here in different cars, different vessels. So it's something to bear thought over. Everything man-made degrades. Everything man-made sooner or later fails to function. It breaks down. It degrades. And I think if you're thinking on the same premises that our bodies are like a car, which is man-made and mass-produced, and cars break down, you don't have the same, like I said, the same Ford Escort without putting a lot of care, a lot of work, and a lot of money to maintain it, but it's still eventually your favorite Ford Escort from 1980 it's going to cease to exist. It's going to break down. You're not going to be able to tax it. You're not going to get the parts for it. Sooner or later, it has to end. And you can only put so much filler in. You can only have so many gearboxes put in your car. You can only have so many new wheels, exhaust systems, and engines, and piston blocks, and God knows what else, before that car just says, I can't do it anymore. I'm breaking down. I can't go on. Is that the same for an 80-year-old or a 90-year-old? It bears a little thought. Maybe if we go back to the factory theory, that we're waiting for the right driver to drive away the car. Maybe, now this is controversial, but maybe the thought of when babies don't make it to physical life, is that the same as maybe they haven't got a driver for that body because they know that there's a flaw in the design somewhere. So, like mobile phones, I think it's the Samsung SJ, somewhere, I don't know, J6 or something. But they brought out this wonderful new smartphone, and it was being sold, mass produced all over the place. Then they found out that it was overheating. Every time that you switched on, every 10 minutes, it would overheat, and some of them would explode at the back. So you had to recall all these mobile phones. Then they worked out that there's a flaw. They fixed the flaw, and they brought out the next phone within days. But they fixed the problem because they was aware that there was a problem as soon as they started producing it. So, would babies that didn't make it to real life, is that a design flaw in that particular baby, in that particular unit, that product? I know that that is a touchy subject, and it's one that touches me because, you know, me and my wife, we've had our struggles with children ourselves. So this is an important issue, but it's one that does again bear a little thinking. You know, maybe you could refer it to being gazumped when you're buying a house. You know, you got your heart set on this house. Yeah, you put your deposit down on your house, but the people right at the last minute who own the house go, no, I don't want to sell it. You can't get your deposit back, and you know, your heart's been broken because you can't buy this house anymore. But you've already agreed to sell it, but for whatever reasons, the people that are selling the house has pulled out. Is that the same? Is the potential driver for your new baby product has gone, oh yeah, I definitely want to buy this vehicle. I love it. Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, a few little fine tweaks on all that, and that'd be perfect. Then they work out, as the baby's growing, as they've decided for sure that they're going to buy it and they're going to inhabit it, they go, hang about, no, I don't think there's something quite right with maybe the heart. Is that the heart? Is that, yeah, I don't think there's a problem. I think, yeah, there's definitely a problem with that, and they back out. So now the baby comes to term, or you come to term giving birth, and now the baby don't have a driver. Possibly. I did say they're controversial files, but it does bear a little thought that past lives affect how you are in each man-made product that is called humanity. Night terrors, dreams of places that you've never been, songs that you know the words to that hasn't been played for 60, 70 years, and you've never actually physically heard, but you still know the words to a song. You hum a tune. Do 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 do. What is that tune? Oh, it's like 1920s Charleston era. And how did I know that? I don't know. Maybe the fact that people like me, and there's many people like me that can tell you things that you don't know. Is it because I'm really special? No. Is it because I'm more in tune with my spiritual side, my spirit side, my true form? And that things make a lot more sense, and I know a little bit more than you in how to interpret the way things are, the way your spirit goes. Maybe I'm just a more technical driver of this particular physical form than you. Don't make me better than you, but it does give me a slight edge over many circumstances. Now I have to have this knowledge from somewhere. I'll have to tell you one thing, that being a medium is a lot different than being just psychic. Being a medium, it's like a few steps more. You're more in touch with energy, and we are energy. So maybe that's because, or the reason why I can communicate with what we call spirit, when all I'm really doing is just tapping into something that I've known all along, and that is we are an energy driver. We are an energy that is continually going around and round and round and round. Maybe I've gone around so many damn times that what I'm saying makes perfect sense to me, and it feels comfortable for me to say, but you might be going, oh my God, some of you might be even getting your Bible and going, praying like a complete lunatic for my eternal soul. Waste of time, trust me. But it does bear a little thought that we are much more than we're believed to be. We are a car. I firmly believe that this body is a vehicle. The real you is inside. The real you determines who you are, how you are, and who you become until you're finished with that car. Then you drive a new one another time around. A new baby, maybe being born, a new body, a new life starting, but it still needs a driver, and I believe that's what we are. But that's just me and my theory. Well, not just me, there's loads of us, but it does bear thinking. I don't know, are we just drivers of a man-made biological vessel? The real us is transgendered people, really people that have spent more time in a female form through past lives than a male form. Is the fact that children really young, without any romantic inclinations, or know what love is, or know about attraction, sexual attraction, could be more inclined to say, I'm 5 years of age and I'm gay. Where'd you get that from? You're a child. Play with your toys. But maybe it's not as cut and dry as that. Maybe it is because if you're a boy, maybe you've inhabited more female cars through your existence. And that's all you know, instinctively. And vice versa, the other way around. It's an idea. and it's a very strong thought form that if you just dismiss it, it is a little ignorant. But if you think about it, and we are just drivers of a biological car, then it can make things like the grieving process of when somebody passes away a little bit more easier to deal with. Well, that's the first, hopefully so, of many controversial files. Tell me what you think. Am I a lunatic? Probably some of you will admit that and agree with that statement, but or is it something that is feasibly possible? I don't know, but this is what I believe, and I could be wrong. If I am, it don't harm anybody, but if I'm right, Nobel Peace Prize for me. Have a think about it. Are we just pilots or drivers of a man-made biological car, made from a biological factory, made by two biological beings and their thought forms and their ideas and designs? Tell me what you think. Anyway, love and light to you. See you again.